It's your girl Evie, and I am back to you guys with some law and information today. Today, we're going to be talking about our favorite episodes of SVU. What else? Okay, so let's go over how many episodes that there were in this season 22, by the way, and there were 16. But what was your favorite? I mean, let's go over some of the episodes. Actually, all of the episodes, but we're not going to take that long. You guys will be out of here in a second, but we're going to talk about my top 3. Okay, so let's get right into it. Well, like I said, there's 16 episodes. Let's go with episode 1. Season 22, episode 1 was called Guardians and Gladiators, and we know it was about the arrest in Central Park with Javon Brown. We know that. Episode 2 was about the Ballad of Dwight and Arena. It's about a domestic violence case, and the son actually kills the stepdad. So we know about that one. Then we get into episode 3, Remember Me in Quarantine. A college roommate goes missing, and her father from Italy inquires where she is. And Olivia has to work with a sergeant, detective, captain in Italy in order to find out where this girl is. So then we go to 4, Sightless in a Savage Land. Hold on a second, you guys. Excuse me. Don't mind this. This is my Dexcom. I tell you guys about it all the time. I'm a diabetic, so I use the Dexcom, just covering it up because I don't want it to be ugly. But anyway, Sightless in a Savage Land. That one is an Amber Alert. And on New Year's Eve, a young foster girl gets pregnant. Well, she doesn't get pregnant on New Year's Eve, but they find out that she's missing. The foster dad inquires as to why she's missing and where she is, and the company finds out that she is in fact pregnant. It has been impregnated by her foster dad, and then the disabled father, who doesn't have custody of his daughter but wants custody of his daughter, actually shoots and kills him. And then Barba, that's right, that's what I said, Barba has to come and defend him against Carisi, of all people. Carisi. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Episode 5, Turn Me or Take Me Private. That was about a cam girl. Remember, you guys? She gets raped on live. Like, she's doing her live cam thing, and one of her users, or one of her people that really follow her, comes in and actually rapes her while she's doing her live. And Olivia and them have to track down who it is. You know, I'm not going to keep covering this up. You know what it is. I just told you. So anyway, episode 6. Episode 6, The Long Arm of the Witness. This one was about a university student who's raped, and Carisi has to take on a powerful and prominent judge about his bias and his dismissal of the case altogether. Season 22, episode 7 was Hunt, Trap, Rape, and Release. We know that they're hunting a serial rapist that's been clowning everybody in the neighborhood and in various neighborhoods. And then Olivia and this other captain have to actually work together in order to solve this crime. Well, Amanda works with a guy from their bureau, and he works with her. What we end up finding out is that the cop is the one from the other bureau that's actually been doing all this raping. Yeah. Season 22, episode 8. The Only Way Out is Through. 2 sisters, we see them dealing with a vicious rape in their past. As children, they were raped by someone in their building, a white guy. These are 2 African-American sisters, and one of the sisters was raped, while the other sister was made to watch. Well, as they're growing up, they cannot get past this. It's already hard enough to get past a rape, but to be a child and be raped, and then the sister sitting there knowing it was nothing she could do, and you see someone hurting your sister. This is something they had to go through, and as adults, they're trying to deal with it. And so what they want to do is actually go talk to their rapist as a therapy to try to work themselves through this. It gets really good. So that was season 22, episode 8. This season, episode 8. Episode 9. Return of the Prodigal Son. That's right, Stabler. Stabler returns, and there's a threat placed against his family. We see that Kathy is injured, and his family rallies around him. The squad rallies around him. He sees Olivia. Olivia's on the scene when Kathy is actually hurt. She comes to the scene because he calls. Actually, he doesn't call. She gets a call to go to the scene and finds out that he is actually at the scene and it's Kathy. Anyway, let's go forward because I love that episode and I know you did too. But let's go forward. So episode 10, Welcome to the Pedo Motel. SVU has to deal with the neighborhood. And why? Because they're pedophiles and sex offenders living in a particular building in their block. These people are offended. They want their children protected. They want to be protected. They want these people out of there. Well, in their anger, someone that was actually living in the pedo motel that wasn't actually guilty of a sex crime per se ends up getting attacked. And he becomes a victim of all of this anger, all of this malice and hate for sex offenders and what they have done. But in actuality, he should not have been listed as a sex offender in the first place. And we see that play out in this whole episode. I mean, it was really good. If you haven't seen it, season 22, episode 10, Welcome to the Pedo Motel, check it out. Now, episode 11 was Our Word Will Not Be Heard. An activist's sister is kidnapped. Now, due to her activism, her sister is kidnapped by racists. And these racist kidnappers mean business. Okay, they're going to hurt her sister. And they're going to hurt her sister because of her activism and their activism and what they believe. So Carisi and the team have to race to find this girl. Now, why does Carisi have to race to find this girl? Well, Carisi is actually dating Nicole, who happens to be the activist's sister. So she's the activist that we're talking about, and now her sister's been kidnapped. So she's trying to use her relationship with Carisi to help find her sister. It's good. Episode 12, In the Year We All Fell Down. Benson walks into a hostage situation at the neighborhood restaurant due to how COVID has affected us all, right? So it doesn't just affect us as far as losing loved ones. It affects us as in losing ourselves or losing things that we care about. And in this particular episode, it's the restaurateur, or a person that owns a restaurant, trying to sound all fancy. But anyway, a person that owns a restaurant. And she's had it. She's lost everything. And now she's losing her business. She's lost her husband. Her son is, wilding out. And now she's lost her business. And it's in the middle of COVID. So it gets really good. I mean, it's a hostage situation. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead. In the Year We All Fell Down. It's episode 12. Now, episode 13 is Trick Road at the Moulin. SVU searches for 3 women who are suspects in drugging and robbing wealthy men. They drug them, they rob them, they leave them in place at the hotel or wherever they've hooked up at. But in this particular episode, one of these guys actually dies. Now, in him dying, SVU is now searching for these 3 women, and it leads to information about Olivia's brother, Simon. Remember him? So, episode 14, Postgraduate Psychopath. Sorry, my eyes are watering. Okay, now Rollins revisits an old case. You guys remember Henry Messner? Remember he was a little boy and he was a psychopath even as a little boy? Yeah. Well, anyway, he tries to kill his sister and various other things. So they have this boy locked up because they figure out he's a sociopath and a psychopath. So here we are. He's 18. He's now going to be released from prison or the facility where he's been locked up at because he really wasn't in a prison. And now we see what he's going to do. Is he still crazy? Is he not? What happens? I don't know. You'll have to kind of watch it for yourself. Postgraduate Psychopath is episode 14 of this season, 22. Now, episode 15 was called What can happen in the dark? That's right. It is another domestic violence situation. And this time we see Deputy Chief Garland involved a lot more. And I love it when he's involved a lot more in the episodes because he's a great guy. And we see him investigate his neighbor. His neighbor's son comes to his house. His dad has been passed out at the house, and he wants to know what's wrong with his daddy. Well, of course, Garland, being the good neighbor that he is, he rushes down there with his daughter, finds that Charlie's dad is actually passed out, and we find out that this is a domestic violence situation. But the switcheroo is this time the man is the one being abused. Yeah, that can happen. So check it out. Episode 16 is Wolves in Sheep's Clothing. Finn and Phoebe make plans for their wedding because, they're getting married. And Liv and Amanda help a mother who is being sex trafficked, because she's homeless. She needs a home. She's been told that she can, hook up with this person, a social worker, and the social worker will help her find a home. Well, in finding a really nice apartment, she has to do a little something in order to keep that apartment. I mean, really. So of course Liv wants to help. Of course Amanda wants to help because this is a situation where these women are being sex trafficked for a place to stay. How despicable. But now we see a corporation come tumbling down because of it. And it's a really good one as well. Well, which one was your favorite? Tell me, a girl wants to know. Comment below. Which one was your favorite? I told you guys I have a top 3. So let's get into it. Mine was number 1. Episode 1, Guardians and Gladiators. Because it dealt with what's going on right now for people of color. All around. Not just for people of color, but for people being woke. People are starting to wake up. White people, Asians, African Americans, Indians, and various other ethnicities are starting to wake up and see the prejudiceness that's going on, the racism that's going on, the stereotypes that are going on, the profiling that is going on by the police and otherwise. It's regular human beings, us, that are doing these things. Even myself. I don't mean to stereotype, but sometimes I do. I don't mean to have implicit bias, but sometimes I do have that. Now, I'm not prejudiced, but we all have to work on ourselves to get better. In this particular episode, I thought they dealt with that brilliantly because Liv has to come to grips with something. She has implicit bias. She just didn't know that she did. And Liv's a great person, but she didn't know that she had that. And in dealing with that, in this episode, it brought light to millions. And I really appreciated what Dick Wolf did and his company and his writers in regards to bringing this to the light. So, what was my second favorite? My second favorite was Return of the Prodigal Son, episode 9. Like, did you not see that coming? Like, Stabler returns. That's my boy. After all this time, I knew it was going to be some drama. I knew it was going to be some intense moments. And I knew it was going to be something between him and Liv. I was just waiting. Like, I was waiting for him to tell her, what's your excuse? Where you been? Why you ain't called me? You could have picked up the phone. If you don't have no phone, you couldn't have said a little something. I understand you disappeared. But in 10 years, you couldn't have called me? Wow. So, okay. That's episode 9, you guys. Return of the Prodigal Son. If you didn't see Stabler's return, this is the episode. After 10 years, he's back. Okay, my number 3 favorite. Oh, okay, you're waiting. Okay, let me tell you. In the Year We All Fell Down. That's right. In the Year We All Fell Down. And that would have been episode 12. Why is that my favorite? I mean, Stabler should be my favorite, right? And he is. But why is this one my favorite? Well, COVID's been tough. And there is nothing that this whole world has experienced together lately besides COVID. I mean, this country does this, and this country does that, and that country says this, and that country says that. But as a whole, as the whole world experienced COVID, we all experienced sickness and loss. Devastating loss. There are so many countless people that have lost their lives to COVID, and so many countless families that have lost their family member or family members to COVID. But it's not the only thing that we lost. COVID's been, hard. People have lost their businesses, they've lost their family, and they've lost some friendships. They've even lost the ability to social. Like, we social distance, but what about social interaction? Where did that go? I mean, we've lost a lot. And this episode hit home for me. We lost some family members too in my family. Not just that, but my children, they're in high school. They couldn't go to high school this year. They've been out since March of last year. So it was really, really hard because socializing in high school is very important. It teaches you about life and when you get out there, what you need to know. Now, not all high schoolers experience it like that, but in my experience growing up in high school, I learned a lot. And with them not being able to go to high school and interact with their friends, and look at the grammar schools, look at even baby kindergartners, they needed social interaction, and they didn't always get it this time. So anyway, like probably millions of others like yourselves, COVID hit us hard. And this episode, in the year we all fell down, season 22, it just hit me some kind of way. And I hope that it, helped you too. The writers of Law and Order SVU are brilliant. The writers of Law and Order, period, are brilliant. Well, I don't want to keep you long. I told you you wouldn't be here long. Tell me about your favorite. What was your favorite episode and why? What was it? Why was it your favorite? Go. All right. I love you guys. I'll be back to you soon. And keep on law and ordering.